Hello everyone, this is Naomi. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to attempt my very first batch of apple cider vinegar, and I thought that I would take you guys along on that journey. So first of all, I got a whole bunch of apples in front of me. I'm going to chop them up and stick them in this jar, and it doesn't have to be fancy because they're just going to be made into apple cider vinegar. Eventually, they get pulled out of the jar. Now, the one thing I'm doing differently than what the instructions say, I don't have filtered water. I have a Berkey filter, but I don't have it set up because my kitchen's so tiny that I haven't had room for it. So I am going to be attempting this with regular tap water and see how it goes. Okay, that is one apple. I gotta count the apples because the instructions say to put as many teaspoons of sugar in there as you put apples in there. So this is apple number 2. Honestly, it doesn't seem to take too many apples to fill this jar. So we're just gonna chop. And don't mind my messy kitchen. I have been working in this kitchen all day. So I just finished up washing dishes and now I'm dirtying more. I made a huge batch of homemade dog food today for Marley. Yeah, clearly the apples I'm using are a different size than the apples in the video that I watched, because I've got 3.5 apples in that jar. Well, maybe a few more chunks. And I don't think that the woman, the video I watched, I don't think that that woman's jar was bigger than mine. And she had 7 or 8 apples. So I think it's just because I bought large apples. Okay, so next step is sugar. You're supposed to have 1 teaspoon for every apple. I think I'm going to have to get a little carried away. I think I'm going to need extra sugar. So I'm going to put 4 heaping teaspoons of, and I'm putting it into a measuring cup, and then I'm going to pour some water in there and stir it up so that it dissolves a little bit. So I'm stirring in my little Pyrex here. I know it's super hard to see because the camera angle's just not right. I think I need to put some more stuff underneath it, like a stack of books maybe. But you can see my giant jar of apples here. Okay, my sugar is mostly dissolved. Yeah, that definitely didn't look like as much sugar as that other lady used. I'm putting extra sugar in. There we go. I feel a little bit better about that sugar. Like I said, I think I'm using different size apples than she was. Her apples looked much smaller. And then we're going to fill the jar with water up to here. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. And I bought these weights. It's like a wide mouth weight. Oh yeah, I put too much water. Let's scoop some of that out. Let's just tilt this out a little. If I'm clumsy, it's my first attempt at this. When I become a pro, I'll make a video documenting the whole process but tonight is my first attempt. Okay, so I have my apples in the jar. I have my sugar in the jar. I also have a weight, a wide mouth weight that I drop down in here because it's important that the apples stay underneath the water, because if they stick out they'll rot and it'll ruin the whole batch. So next I am going to put a cloth, maybe I'll just keep it doubled up. Put a cloth over it, and I did not have a rubber band, but my daughter had this giant hair tie, and we'll just put that there. And then this jar is going to sit on my counter for 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'm going to pull the apples out. I do have to pull this, I do have to open this and stir. Actually, I think I was supposed to stir that before I put the weight in there too. Nah, it'll be fine. It will be fine. Since I had most of the sugar dissolved when I poured it in there, I think it'll be fine. So this is my first attempt at apple cider vinegar. I'm going to stir it a few times in the next 2 weeks. I may do a video when I remove the apples, and then after the apples are removed, then it has to sit for about 4 weeks. So this is going to be a fun process for me. I will have this sitting over here on my counter. If this works, I may be able to go zero waste with my vinegar as well, because right now I buy large quantities of vinegar and I just use the white vinegar because it's cheaper and I can get it in the 1 gallon. But I would prefer to switch to doing everything with apple cider vinegar. And I know this is cheap, but making your own is not too much more expensive. So I think that this is not going to be like horribly expensive. As you can see, it only took a few apples to fill that jar. And I still have like 5 apples sitting here that I'm going to put in my fruit jar, or I mean my fruit bowl. If I had another jar ready, I would just make another batch, but I don't want to get too carried away. I want to see how this batch turns out before I start another one. Now, if it works out good, then I'm probably going to do like several jars at a time, because of the fact that I do use quite a bit of vinegar, because I rinse my hair with it and I clean my house with it, and I put it in with the laundry to use as a laundry softener. So like vinegar has a lot of uses in this house. I even spray the dogs with it sometimes for flea prevention. So anyway, thank you for tuning in and watching my little apple cider vinegar starter. Like I said, when I get better at this, I'll make a video where I show after 2 weeks, I'll show when I remove the apples, and then I would show the finished product. So there may be more videos about this in the future if I am successful. If I fail at this, then, well, I guess I try again until I get it right. So thank you for watching. Please hit the thumbs up. Please share, subscribe, all of those things. It really helps out my channel. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I will talk to you later.